As you head out this weekend, I want to share with you the grateful pivot. And what the grateful pivot is to me goes on a saying that the grass is always greener on the other side. What I want to share with you is the grass is greener inside of you. And here's how I know that from personal experience. A grateful pivot I was taught many years ago when I first became an entrepreneur. See, I had no idea what I was doing. I was stumbling through, and at one point I did that great risk, which everyone does. They put everything on the line and it didn't work out. So my reaction was feeling bad for myself, walking around in this cloud like everything was bad and everyone else had it easy. They knew how to do business. They had money, or parents with money. You know, the whole attitude that sometimes you get. And a friend came up to me and he asked me what I was doing, and I told him and complained about all this stuff. Look at the attitude, the choice I was making. And the thing that really blew my mind is he looked at me really deeply in my eyes and said, "This is the best thing that ever happened to you." I was like, "Are you crazy? I've lost it. I made mistakes, repeating everything that I didn't have." And he goes, yeah, I get all that. And luckily he had been through life a little bit at this time. I was a little younger, and he was willing to share this with me. His grateful pivot, which was, you have a choice. You can choose to say this is the best thing that ever happened to you, or you can choose to make it the worst thing that ever happened to you. Because right now you can turn it all around. And maybe it won't happen, but until you accept that, until you realize it's just life, you're going to be beating yourself up, and where are you going to go? Now, I'd like to say that I instantly transformed and changed everything and became this huge success in running around. It took me a while to dig myself out of a hole. People get into holes. Economies get into holes, much like we are now. But you can't use that as an excuse. In fact, the grass is always greener inside of you. As you look over my shoulder here, I've been living in this beautiful place for many years now after going through another major personal pivot in my life. And as I was running around having to find a new place to move after working so hard running a multi-million-dollar company, losing the connection of my life, my marriage, I started finding a new place to live. And I got to tell you, it wasn't fun, but I remembered his lesson. Remember that this is the best thing that happened to you. You have that choice. And what was so amazing is I came up here after looking at all these places in Chico to rent. I didn't even want to rent. I owned a home, but I had to go. And what was amazing to me is I came up the road after looking at all these terrible, terrible places, knowing I had to get back to work, running this big agency with lots of employees. And then I saw this. Because if you see up the road there, is a little town called Paradise. And what I loved was, as beautiful as this place is to me, it really taught me that you always live just a little south of paradise, just a little bit below your ultimate goal. And that's the best part. So what I want you to do this weekend and every day is practice a little gratitude. Try being grateful for what you have, even if in tough times you may think you have nothing. Don't look at it that way. It's your choice. Think about what you're grateful to begin the day and at the end of the day. And for my friends who practice gratitude all the time, like on Facebook, Mike Morgan, who teaches me so much about copywriting, but also just about being a good guy. Yannick Silver, who reached out and said hello on my first pivot video, and has always been the same guy he was when I first met him years ago when he was starting out, even with all his success. Warren Whitlock, who's taught me so much over the years. I love getting together with him whenever he's there at any show that we both frequent. But most importantly, for all of you who haven't really gotten to know me, I'm grateful for you looking in here, and I want to share with you that being grateful is not just a practice. It really becomes the core part of what we're really here for. Because like they say, life is a limited time offer, and your time expires at some point. Do you want to live it being angry and looking at the grass being green over someone else's hill? Or realize the grass is always greener right here in your heart, in yourself. My name's Declan, and I'm done with this Pivot and Profit podcast, The Grateful Pivot. And go out this weekend and tell somebody you're thankful. Practice gratitude. Reach out, especially to those who are having a tough time. The grateful pivot is really the key to enjoying everything you have, and you have everything you need right now.